yes. Welcome from Atlanta, Georgia. We are live today. And so we are thankful if you're joining us today, and thank you for joining us in-house today as well. I have a lot to share today. I'm super excited today. We're talking about psychological development. We're talking about self-esteem. We're talking about also self-image. And so it's going to be a great podcast. We hope that what we share today will help you out with your walk and your journey. We just want to be an encouragement to you. So get ready. Here we go. Let's go.
Yes, you're the Lamb of God.
Woo, how you feel? How you feel? You feel okay? Good. I'm Stephen. This is Contemporary Speaks. We're going to have a great time. I'm super excited. There's a lot I want to share with you guys. We'll see how much we get through today. First of all, I want to start kind of with this idea, this concept, psychological development. And I want you to think about, what does that mean, psychological development? What is that really all about? Really, wouldn't it be great if we had schools and school systems that kind of helped psychologically develop the kids? Because home can do it. Their home can do it. The home life can do it. But wouldn't it be great if society and culture and school also helped in that progress and helped in that process as well? I think that would be cool. Psychological development is huge because psychological development kind of really helps you deal with life, helps you see life, helps you hold the correct perspectives of life and all these different things. That's what I believe the Bible is all about. I believe that the Bible is all about trying to help you correctly view life, right? And so with everything that kind of happens and everything that's kind of going on, when you look at Yeshua and he's saying all these different kind of things like, hey, unless you forgive, you will not be forgiven. Stuff like that, like unless you forgive, you will not be forgiven. When you kind of think about that, he's saying like, let this be sort of your psychological engine and the way in which it works. That, you know, that you can't just go through life holding things and being offended. They treated me. I can't believe the way they treated me. I can't believe, and it's just always that, they did me wrong. You know what I mean? That's what's going to say on your grave. They did me wrong, right? And when you think about it, psychological development is so huge because it will cause you to stop blaming everybody. Think about this. We blame the weather. We blame the government. We blame our parents. We blame the church. We blame our husband, our wife, our dog. We blame everything. It's like, the weather today, you know. We blame everything but self. We never blame ourselves. We never say, you know what, I'm responsible for moving forward. And so we've allowed all these other things play a factor in our psychological development. And it has hindered us, right? And so I want you to kind of think about this. You have to get to this place where you understand that there is correction in life. And really, according to the Bible, according to Hebrews chapter 12, it says that discipline is love. Like when you receive correction, this is love. We don't spank our kids because we are angry with our kids or we don't like our kids or we're just mad at them. No, we spank them because what they're doing is psychologically incorrect. They are behaving psychologically incorrect. Now think about this as well. When you talk about psychological development, I want you to just imagine your kid and imagine, can you kind of gauge in what is the psychological health of your child, even at a very young age, or even what is the psychological development of where you are right now? Kind of think about that. And when I say that, I want you to think about it like this. Say if your kid was 15 years old and they said, you know what, a couple of our friends are going hiking. So they come to you and they say, you know what, we want to all go hiking for this weekend. We're going to be gone 8 hours. We're going to be hiking all day, and we won't be back till that evening. And so there's two different approaches psychologically. When you think about it, one parent could say, okay, what do you need? Let me make sure you have the proper shoes. Let me make sure that you are having the proper gear. Make sure that you have a meal. Make sure that you have everything that you need, water, all these things. And then another parent could say, I don't think that's a wise idea. This could happen to you guys out there, and immediately already you're affecting the psychological mind of your child. When your child is not adventurous, advantageous, able to go out and take on the challenges of life. So now you developed a child and you have two different types of children, one that will explore the world and one that is fearful of the world, one that stays in the comfort of the home and then one that will venture outside of the home. Here's the key, what you don't realize. Even though you feel safer as a parent and you convince your child it's best for you to stay home, let those other kids do that, you don't go out there, you don't do that, what you've done is you've affected the psychological development of your child. In fact, it's best for them to go out and fail than for them to not try at all and just stay in the house where they are, because you're affecting them psychologically in terms of it will affect every aspect of life. How they apply for a job or why they didn't apply for the job. They didn't believe in themselves. And so what you are, a lot of times what we're developing in our children is an inability to believe and trust in themselves. Here's what I want you to talk about in psychological development, and this is very important. In order to really develop yourself correctly psychologically, you have got to have good self-image. Now, what is a self-image? Self-image is, how do you see yourself? What do you say about yourself? I was talking to a young man and I said, hey, let me show you how to do this. He said, nope, I don't want to do it. And it seemed all fine. Nope, I don't want to do it. I was like, he's like, I got bad form. I was like, but let me show you. He's like, nope, I don't want to try it. I don't even want to try it. So self-image is how you view yourself. Do you view yourself as already failing before you try? Self-image is big because your self-image and your psychological development, unfortunately, is primarily coming from the house that you live in, primarily mom or dad. So this is very important that you understand psychological development and also self-image, because this will also keep people stuck or tell people, no, I'm an overcomer. I can do all things. I will come up. I will rise up. So we're constantly not only in our own psychological development, but also developing those who are around us, the circles that are around us. You know that you could put fear in the atmosphere. You could put power in the atmosphere. You could release different things in the atmosphere, if you understand what I'm saying, right? So self-image is very, very important. And if you think about the Messiah had a very good self-image of himself. In fact, his self-image was so great that even when Satan tempted him and said, if you are the Son of God, he was like, I'm not even doubting that. In fact, he didn't doubt that, because when he was a kid and his mother and his father came looking for him, the first thing that he said is, didn't you know that I would be about my Father's business? His self-image was he knew who he was. So now let's talk about self-image. Self-image is how you see yourself. What do you say about yourself? What do you say? Not what do I say about you. See, I could tell you all day, no, you can't do it. That would have been different if I would have said to the person, no, you can't do it. But no, the person said on their own, I can't do it. Why? Because that's his self-image. What is your self-image? And who has imprinted that self-image in you? And why isn't it the image of the Messiah, the image of Christ, the image of God, the image that should be in us, right? So think about that as well. Psychological development is so huge. You should never stop working on your psychological development, the way in which you see life and the way in which you perceive life and the way in which you grow and learn or are able to adapt to life. Here's the thing, like I said, self-image is so important because Yeshua had a very good, healthy self-image of himself. And we should have as well. We should have a very good self-image of ourselves. And also self-image will play right into low self-esteem. So if you have a poor self-image of yourself, you will also begin to develop low self-esteem. Low self-esteem is you don't want to join in with the rest of the kids. Low self-esteem is that you don't want to join in with the group. Low self-esteem is that you're just going to stay on the sidelines. It's like this, and you can say what you want to say, but the reality is this right here. Let's take dancing. Let's take dancing. What is your self-image of that? Oh, I can't dance. I don't have it. That's your self-image. That's your self-image, right? So through your self-image, you're producing a result within you. It's either great self-esteem or it's low self-esteem. So if you feel everyone is out there dancing, right, and you can't dance, what are you not going to do? You're not going to dance. Why? Because your self-image is that I don't want to embarrass myself. Even though everyone else is embarrassing themselves, and Craig's dance over there he's doing looks crazy right now, right? But you don't want to, so it's like, instead of having fun, psychologically, you stifle and depress your own self based on the lifestyle that you choose to have, based on the self-image that you have of you. So we got to get a healthier self-image of ourselves. This is what I want you to know about psychological development, self-image, low self-esteem, all these things as they play into each other. Here's what you must understand about life. You must understand this about life, is that life does not come without a serpent. That even in the Garden of Eden, there was a serpent. There was someone that was challenging the good of the neighborhood. There will always be a serpent in your ear. And if we are going to psychologically develop the next generation behind us, what we must teach them is that they are serpent slayers, that they are dragon slayers. Dragons come along with life, right? Serpents come along. I mean, there was a paradise that God built, but he did not build that paradise without a serpent. So you got to find out, what is the serpent in your life? What is the thing that is representing the serpent? Is it a friend? Is it a relationship? Is it drugs? Is it alcohol? Is it low self-esteem? Is it a poor self-image? What is it? What is the thing that represents the serpent in your life? Is it fear, anxiety, depression? Because guess what? We are to teach our kids that these kind of things are normal with life. But we must be dragon slayers. You must understand that you don't get the victory unless you overcome the serpent. You do not get the victory. We do not enter into the kingdom of heaven unless we have defeated the serpent in the earth. This is what life is about, that life comes with serpents and that we must be dragon slayers. But if we have low self-esteem and a low self-image, we will not fight the dragon. We will let the dragon take the land, and we will cower in our houses and live within our houses while the dragon roams through the streets. Think about what I'm saying today. Think about what I'm saying today. That life comes with serpents and dragons. But in order for us to win this game called life, we must face those demons, face those dragons, and slay those dragons. And we will not do it unless we have developed a good, healthy self-image. Let me give you a good concept of healthy self-image. I'll say it this way. Imagine if you were a lighthouse keeper. And there's a reason why you are a lighthouse keeper, because it is a noble job. So let me explain it to you this way, that you have to find a reason for waking up each morning of your life. And the reason must be noble. That means that there is a greater good. There's a greater good in which you're serving. And if you do not value something more than yourself, more than your own comfort, if you don't say that this is more noble and this is more noble of a cause, you will begin to psychologically decrease and decline and become depressed. You just go downhill and downstairs. You have nothing to wake up for. There's nothing that you value. There's nothing that you see that is noble in your life. Come on. So you are a lighthouse keeper, but you are refusing to wake up and to light the lighthouse because it's too foggy today. Or because it's cloudy and it's raining and it's storming today, so I'm not going to light the lighthouse. But in fact, this is the day that the lighthouse is most needed to be lit. So you need to find a noble cause that wakes you up. Even coming to this podcast is something that you have to look at as self-improvement, something that is going to help you develop a better self-image. So you have to want to be stronger and want to be better for one simple reason. I must fight the serpent. And I cannot do it if I'm unhealthy mentally, psychologically. So even coming here and getting here, there should be a noble desire that I'm going to get something that is going to strengthen me. It is like the boy who pulls out his wooden sword and he's hitting the tree and he's chopping at the tree, chopping away at the tree. Bah, bah, ah, ah. What is he imagining? One day this will be real. One day I'll protect the village from the serpent. One day the dragon's going to come, but I'm going to be strong enough to fight the dragon. This is noble. Do you understand that if you don't have this noble mind that I am going to strengthen my mind and strengthen myself so that I can face the dragon, then you've missed the point of your life and living. Find a noble cause, embrace it, wake up and strengthen your mind. Don't speak negative, speak positive. Don't believe that you can't, but believe that you can. Doubt your doubts. See, I've said that, and there's some people that began, I speak to them later, they began to say, you know what, that was something I took away, and that's something that really stuck with me, and that's something I've begun to do. When I believe that I cannot, I start to say that I can. But how many people got the same word, but did nothing with the word? Develop yourself, knowing that you must face these dragons in life. Develop your self-image. Develop your self-esteem. So you can be strong enough to know that you will face a dragon. Now listen to this. Think about the one person who is the lighthouse keeper. And every day consistently, they light the lighthouse. And as they light the lighthouse every single day, one day there's a boat that is out there. And it has a king on there, and he has a boat full of treasure, and he's about to sink until he sees your lighthouse lit. And it is your lighting of your lighthouse that brings him safely ashore. He then rewards you greatly. Now, here's the key. Even though you get the reward, that's not why you lit the lighthouse every single day. In fact, that lighthouse would not even have been lit that day if you had not been consistent all the previous days before. It was no random act. It was your consistency in doing what is noble and what is just and what is right that saved that king upon that night, because you were faithful in the little thing. Do you hear what I'm telling you? So you're not doing it to get this reward. You're doing it because it's noble, because it's just, because it's right. And the reward eventually automatically comes. Here's the thing that you got to realize is that God will glorify you if you glorify God. That's true. God will glorify you if you glorify him. Here, I want to kind of let me read something to that fact really quick. It says, humble yourself under the hand of God, that he may exalt you. If you acknowledge, God, you give me the strength to wake up. God, you give me the strength in my body. God, you've given me the mind to create, the mind to achieve. If you continue to humble yourself and realize, God, it is because of who you are that I am who I am, then you realize that as you glorify God, he will glorify you. Here's the thing that you have to understand, and I want us to kind of look at this a little bit. It says, I've said these things to you, that in me you may have peace, but in the world you'll have tribulations. But take heart, I have overcome the world. Jesus is already telling you that in the world is a place of trouble, that you will have issues. So if we're not psychologically developing our kids to understand that this is just an issue, but we can defeat it, we can overcome it. Because if we are in Christ and Christ is in us, we can get the victory. He already overcame every situation we will be faced with. Think about that. He has already overcome what we will be faced with, regardless of if it's a loss of a parent, a loss of a mother, a father, loss of a baby, a loss of whatever that we're going to lose in life or whatever we're going to face in life. Yeshua, Jesus, has already overcome it for us. So we're overcoming it by his power and by his strength, right? Here's something I think that's so interesting that he said. He says, the eye is the lamp of the body. Think about this. So if your eye is healthy, or if your eye is single, as it says in some places, right, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is bad, or if your eye is evil or double, right, your whole body will be full of darkness. And then he says, how great is that light, or how great is that darkness that is in you? Here's the thing that I look at. When he's talking about the eye, he's really talking about your psychological development. He is really talking about the mind, the way in which you think. The mind that works in us. Is it the mind of God? Or is it the mind of man? Think about that. Is it the mind of man, or is it the mind of God? Think about that. Oh, I don't want to go too, we got so much to share this year. I don't want to go too deep into that concept yet, but really think about what mind is operating in you. How do you speak? How do you see? How do you understand? Do you realize the opportunity that God is laying before you that you are forfeiting or giving up? The opportunity to be a lighthouse keeper, to be able to one day save a life. That's why we light the lighthouse, because we know that it'll save people from hitting these rocks and show them how to get safely into the port. That's why we light the light daily, regardless of rain, regardless of fog, regardless of the weather's conditions. We stay true and noble to our calling. We've found our purpose. Keep the lighthouse lit. Are you with me this morning? You with me? Oh, so here's the thing. What am I ultimately saying, and we've heard this in life, is that we've got to know our why. We have to find our why. Why did you come here today? Because everybody expected me to. That's the wrong why. It will not be sustainable. It will not be sustainable. There has to be something else that drew you here. There has to be something noble that drew you here. And so your why makes it personal. When you can find your why, then you can make it personal. You can make it personal. And it has to be personal. It has to be personal what you're doing. Okay, so I want to kind of talk about a couple of things, because Jesus says this one thing. He says, unless you love mother, father, sister, and brother and all these people less than you love me, you cannot be my disciple. Think about this. So he is basically putting something before you, saying to love God is more noble than to love man. Let's go deeper. To love God is more noble than love man. Let me put it to like this. To support God is more noble than to support man. Do you hear what I'm saying? To be for God is more noble than to, it's the woman who takes her life savings, pours it all over the body of Yeshua, and someone complains about it. It is a support of God, but they said, no, you should have supported man. You should have given that oil, sold it, and given the money to the poor. I want you to think about that, because if you put God first, legitimately put God first. I preached this for almost 15 years of my life and still preaching it today, because many people fail to see that your psychological health is whether or not you put God first in your life. I love my wife, but she's not first. I love my mom, but she's not first. I love my dad, but he's not first. I love my children, but they're not first. First is God. And we have to sit down with ourselves and we have to ask ourselves, have we actually made him the priority of our life? He is a noble enough cause to wake up and to light the lighthouse every single day. 3 things I want you guys to take away. The first one is this right here. You are here in this world to make this world a better place by starting with yourself. not with other people, but by starting with yourself. You're here to make this place a better place, but you must start with self. You hear me? This is the other thing, is that we all have to make time for self-improvement. Self-improvement does not just happen. You must make time to meditate, to think about the Word of God, to think about your life, to focus on your self-image, your self-esteem, and you must make time to improve upon that, to say, this is where I am, and this is where I shall be. This is where I am going. Are you with me? And the third thing is that you must devote a part of your day to mental preparation and psychological motivation. Listen to what I'm saying. You don't just want to get up and go, 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 go. I know we're busy, but there must be either in the morning before we go to work or in the evening when we come home before we go to sleep. We must have this time in our day where we are getting our minds sharpened and we spend time with mental preparation and psychological motivation. We take a little bit of time. And so you find those avenues that pour into you so that you can fight the dragon, so you can slay the serpent. All right? That's all we got today. I love you guys. Thank you guys. Let's go. Thank you for being a part of our YouTube channel. When you subscribe to this channel, it helps us spread a positive message around the world. Contemporary Speaks is an affiliate of Contemporary Church, and I want to take a moment to thank you for your generosity in all you do and supporting us with your donations and your gifts. It helps us keep going strong. And if what we do has impacted you in a positive way, please let us know in the comments below and share this channel with a friend. We hope to keep you encouraged each week with a new mindful topic.